Welcome to RIT Talk. We're here to raise awareness about mental health. One way of doing that is to talk about it, and that's what we're going to do. Have a great day, don't quit, and keep pushing forward. Today, we're going to talk with Jairo. Take it away, Jairo. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, Barry. Hi. Hello, everybody. Yeah, my name's Jairo Magana. I've been an EMS here for about 17 years, since 2005. I've been in Yuma since 1997. So I was raised in Los Angeles, California. Moved down here when I was pretty much to go to high school. So graduated from Yuma High in 2001. Go Criminals. And yeah, around 2001, I graduated. That's pretty much when I did the co-op program that the local fire department offers. So the city of Yuma has a co-op program, and I went ahead and participated in that program. You actually go on there, they assign you some mentors and do ride-alongs, so actually go on real calls and everything. And so I think that really gave me the push that I needed to actually see what it was like, life as a firefighter. So that's really, I think, where I got my push. But yeah, I've been married for around the same time I've been in EMS. So we got married in 2005, in around July, and then around November, a couple months after, is when I started EMS. So I
didn't know that.
So it was right there, so it kind of worked out perfect. I had my last job and kind of transitioned into it, and it all worked pretty good. So I got married 3 months after, started EMS, and kind of been doing that since then. I have 5 kids. Me and my wife, we were foster parents for over 10 years. And we ended up adopting our kids through foster care. 4 of them through foster care, and 1 of them through one of my wife's family. So I have a total of 5. Currently at home, only 2. My 2 daughters remain at home. So family of 4 right now at home.
Right.
So that's me. That's me in a nutshell.
All right. Yeah. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but if you want, elaborate a little bit more why you chose firefighting.
Yeah. So initially, believe it or not, well, you probably will believe it once I tell you. I wanted to be a chef. That was my first first career choice. So now you see me cook around the fire station. I kind of have the best of both, right? I did so all my years in high school, which it probably is not much, but I did 4 years of the cooking there at high school. I had my elective was always cooking because I wanted to go to AWC. They have a cooking program, and then from there I was gonna transition to one of the cooking schools, the Culinary Art Institute schools, and so that was the route I was going with. I kind of had a passion for food and just trying to do that as a career. But once I got into EMS, I think, like I said, doing the co-op program, doing the ride-alongs, kind of getting to see. I mean, I really thought, just being here for the community and just helping other people, and just the type of job that EMS is. It's like the unknown. Every day you go to work, you don't know. When the tones go off and you're going off on to your call. I mean, you don't know what kind of call or what kind of situation. But the fact that I've always been a people person, just kind of being around people, helping whenever I can. I mean, I feel like I've been given like that servant type of spirit, in a sense. I mean, like I we respond to people's emergency. It's their emergency, not ours. So I think having that empathy towards them, and just kind of putting ourselves in their shoes, if that was our emergency, how we would like somebody to help us or treat us. And so I think like I said, just the whole thrill, in a sense. I mean, And I say that obviously with respect, because when we do go on a call, it means, somebody's not having a good day,
Yeah.
so we show up, and we try to do the best, that we can. And most of our calls, I mean, by nature and statistics and everything, like 80%, 90% of our calls are EMS calls, they're all
Yeah.
medical calls. So most of the time there's, some kind of a medical necessity going on, medical emergency. My first 2 years in EMS, I was an EMT when I first started. So I was an EMT, and I think, as an EMT, you're more limited to the patient care, the patient contact that you have. You're in a sense the ambulance driver when you're on an ambulance. You show up, you assist on scene, then you load up the patient, the paramedic goes in the back, and then you take them to the hospital. We take them to get their higher level of care. So that's when I'm like, you know what, I wanna learn more. I want to be more hands-on. So that's when I
Okay.
decided to take the medic. I'm like, I want to be more hands-on, kind of just, kind of be there from start to finish in a way. Once we get them from the scene all the way to the hospital, and then just kind of go through the whole process. So I mean, I really enjoy, like I said, going, just every day is different. You don't know what you could expect, and so I enjoy that. Like I said, sometimes it's like, the unknown. So even though you might go to something, you might get dispatched to something. I mean, it could be something else,
Something
but
totally different.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, and I did like the whole, how, you work with a crew. I mean, I like working with other people, and just, the whole dynamic of it. I mean, I thought was really good.
Okay. All right. What's one thing that you think could help improve firefighter mental health or first responder firefighter
Yeah.
mental health?
Um, yeah, you know what? I think really, normally, I mean, currently, we work, in crews. I mean, most of the time in the fire station on the fire truck, we have 4 people. So, there's that. I think we have to, create that culture, because there's sometimes that stigma, it's like, oh, it's we're the fire family. The fire is our other family in a sense. But I think, we have to continue to build on that, camaraderie, that we have. I mean, I think that's important, to be able to go to work and be able, because we pretty much rely on each other. We rely on
Mhm.
each other when we're there. You know what I mean? Because if somebody does something wrong, I mean, it makes everybody look bad. If one of us, in a sense, gets hurt, it should kind of affect all of us in that sense of like, man, what could we have done to, prevent this? So I think we
Okay.
really, we really have to have each other's backs, and truly mean it, when we're there. Because, we're all adults. We all have situations, whether at home, and it's kind of one of those things where they say, don't bring your situations from home to work. I think our job kind of applies to it. Don't bring your situation at home to work, or your, like they normally say, your work life to your home life. It's kind of good to keep them separate, in that aspect, because I think we can function a little bit better. We're already dealing with, like a high stress environment, and everything that we do. I mean, the fact that, I mean, we're away from home. I mean, that's a stress in itself.
Yeah.
Those are stressors that sometimes we don't think about. We're home this year. It was my first year, believe it or not, after 17 years, that I actually was away for Christmas.
Mm.
After all my time in EMS, so it was bound to happen, sooner or later. But that's part of
Mhm.
the job. We miss birthday parties, we miss anniversaries, all that stuff. I think does compile, and sometimes we don't think about it. Besides the calls that we run on. We run on, like I said, and some calls and situations. I mean, the outcome is not what you want, and so obviously we add that to the factor. Then that also creates that extra mental health awareness that that we try to just kind of brush it off sometimes. But I think
Yeah.
we have to address it and deal with it, and talk about it as best as we can. And I mean, we're taught going into this, the whole aspect of the critical incident, stress debriefing. If there is a situation like, hey, statistic tells us, within 72 hours, as soon as we can, talk to somebody about this, or deal with it, it's going to be the best possible outcome, to kind of put that behind us in a sense. But, in all reality, I don't think we ever put it, it's still there. It's just kind of more, on the back burner per se. But I think, and you can probably contest, there's a lot of calls we won't forget about. We drive through places in town and we're like, hey, this is where I ran a call, this is where this happened. You run through different situations like that, and it kind of brings it back sometimes.
I like it.
Yeah. But like I said, I think definitely talking. I know, even at home, I know, like when I come home sometimes, if I had a bad situation, I know, like I've talked to my wife about it, but sometimes, it could be different, because I think sometimes, it's they don't understand perhaps, because I mean, we're there, 24 hours, and it's a different dynamic. But I think she does the best to hear me out and to understand. And I think we have to have a good balance. I think like our, physical, I know we stress physical fitness, that's important, so I think physical, our emotional, and I think our even a spiritual aspect, I think is important. A healthy balance, your faith, and, everybody has, all different kinds of backgrounds. And I think whatever's going to help you cope the best. I mean, I think there's no right, wrong, or indifferent, I think it's the fact that, we're able to cope with it, and, we're able to kind of put that behind us. At the end of the day, that's what should be important. But
good to me.
But yeah, I mean, I think surrounding yourself, with people that are going to support you, that are there to, hear you out. Luckily, like I said, I at work, I can say we have, a good group of guys that we can talk to. I know there's always some people prefer to talk to certain people than others, and it's whoever, people click with different people differently. But I could say now, being more on the engine is, trying to build that relationship. I'm trying to build that with my crew that I work with, because that way we can have that connection, that dynamic, on duty and off duty. I think it's important, because sometimes it's like, we all go home, we all go back to our lot, our not our lives, but just our daily routine, to back to our own families. But I think we still have to make ourselves available, to each other, because sometimes that's when it probably hit us the most. Once we leave work and we go home, and we take that with us if we didn't really, deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so far, like I said, I think I mean, I've seen, when I first got my paramedic, I did see, a lot of people, that passed away, a lot of people that passed away. And I mean, we know that's life, right? I mean, we're born, and eventually we're destined to die. But sometimes it's sooner than later. It's not the way we wanted to go, and accidents happen and things happen. But yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff, if I could say this career, it's one of those careers that you have to have a good mental health, good head on your shoulders, to be able to to go through a career and actually retire. I've seen people start and switch careers, just because maybe once you actually are in it, in the thick of things, you're like, man, this is, this is something that I'm not, it's not good for me, or I should try something else. And it's okay, it's okay. I mean, there's, like I said, it's a career that you really don't know until you're in it, and actually working day to day, day in and day out. I mean, how the situations actually play out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I have on that. I don't know if I answered your question, or I kind of
sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add?
You know what? Not really, unless there's something particular that you want me to like address or talk about. I mean, I think these conversations are, and it's needed, just to talk about. I mean, a lot of times, we leave work, and I have, seen that sometimes, like, oh, when you leave, don't talk about work, right? We try to, like, oh, just put it behind you. But I think as much as that is true, I mean, I think there's a time and place, and when to do it, when,
Mm-hmm.
if there is something that you have to address. And I guess I could say also, I mean, as men, right? As men, we don't want to feel vulnerable. And I think, you guys have mentioned it before, we don't want to feel vulnerable. We're men, we're tough, we're taught to be strong, and that's, we can't let our feelings out, and I told my wife all the time, I'm like, hey, I'm human too. I'm like, I have feelings too, right? But I get it. We're built different in a sense, where we're not maybe as emotional, but either way, I mean, I think for a healthy, mindset, and a clear mind, I mean, I think we still have to address those issues. We have to be honest with ourselves, and because I know when I'm having a bad day, like I know it, and sometimes I'm just kind of trying to deny it to myself, like, no, I'm fine, or my wife will notice it, or somebody will notice it, right? Because it does come out in how we act and what we do, and people notice it. And I think we just have to, the fact of being maybe too transparent sometimes, it puts us in that vulnerable state, and we don't know how our peers might feel about it. And I think we have to, be able to talk about it, and also be the ears to hear somebody else out. You know what I mean? And I think it comes back to what I said in the beginning. It's like when we run on these calls, we have to put ourselves, like, if that was our call, if that was our emergency, it's having that, they teach us that going through the class, there's having that empathy, towards the family, towards our patient, having that empathy. We get woken up, sometimes we have a good sleep going on, right? We're sleeping at night, we get woken up, and oh, it's because we might think it's something simple, or something, this could have waited till the morning. But hey, that's not for us, I think, to say. It's like they called us, we're there.
The way it goes.
you know that's, I mean, we have no control over that. and
Mm-hmm.
and I think we have to put our, a lot of times, even though, like I said, we might feel tired, we might feel, however, I mean, I think we have to be there, because every time that 911 gets activated and we show up, we need to be professional. And our patients, our community, they're wanting us to be the experts at that moment. They need help, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow or another, we have the tools to fix them and to make them feel better. And that's what we have to try to do, and all we can do our best. And that's kind of having that positive mindset, when you show up on scene. And I always try to, think for the best possible outcome, the best possible
Okay.
outcome in that situation. And that's all you can do. You kind of adapt, overcome, and try to make the best that you've been trained to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, that's what I have to say about that. I mean, going on calls and whatnot.
All right. Sounds good. All
All
right.
right.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no
And
problem. Thank you for inviting me.
all right, have a great day.
All right, Barry. Appreciate it.